Welcome to Aaron Plays. In this episode, I will be starting a new scenario for Storming the Gap. This will be scenario 17, which is called The Deceived. This is a direct follow-on from scenario 15, which I did in my last videos for this game. So, what's happening in this scenario? It says, that night at Asch-Schabenberg, the Americans regrouped and tried to make sense of the situation. They knew for sure they had leading elements of the East German Third Corps coming down the wooded valley roads for the river crossing, and that there was action of sorts developing off to the southeast. That appeared to be a nighttime probe to draw their attention away from the activity in the hills rising up from the valley of the Main. 4th MS, that's the East German unit, spent the night reorganizing itself as best and as quickly as it could in such rugged terrain. They needed to be on point for the next dawn's assault. It was so important this be convincing and distracting that Soviet 8th Guards Army arranged to contribute not just air and helicopter assets to make it more believable, but tanks from the 79th Guards Tank Division coming from the Fulda Gap north of the 4th MS. In the morning, the plan was that they would all press the American defenses hard and keep the US forces' attention fixed on survival, while 7th Panzer gathered pace on the circuitous but lightly defended road to Darmstadt. 4th MS pressed its reconnaissance elements out well before dawn. So in this scenario, the first 3 turns are at night. It's a 12-turn scenario. Scenario special rules: dawn attack, night in effect from 1 to 3 turns. There are, in the units, the East Germans have got an infantry contingent with 10 infantry platoons, all carried by BMPs. They have a mortar, trucks, various reconnaissance elements to this formation, which is quite large. There are even 3 T-55 tanks. They also have 10 T-72s in this formation here. And they are arriving anywhere on the east edge of the map, which is along here, or south of the map up to beginning of map 2. So that's about here. Anywhere along that side and through. They'll be getting some air support. They've got some artillery. And they've got a designated formation card in there. So one of these formations could activate twice. They will be ably assisted by the Soviets, but Soviets will be arriving on turn 4 with 10 T-80s coming in on this map edge. So on the east map edge, anywhere from M13 onwards. So they're coming on and assaulting this side of the board. There will also be arriving 2 Hind helicopters, again arriving on turn 4, anywhere on the south map edge, anywhere from here all the way along to here. Okay. They also have a designated formation card, which can again only be used for the 2 Soviet formations, the helicopters or the T-80s. The Americans are the defending force. They currently have a platoon of Abrams, platoon of Patton tanks at the back, and some infantry with support assets. They will be receiving reinforcements of another infantry company having 3 platoons with multiple assets, and they're getting some Cobra helicopters. Those will be arriving on turn 3 or 4. They have some off-board artillery assets too. Remembering that this scenario is first 3 turns at night. So what is necessary for a win Victory condition. The Warsaw Pact gain a marginal victory if Warsaw Pact ground unit forces control 2 objectives at the end of the game. They may claim a decisive victory if Warsaw Pact ground forces control 3 objectives. Any other result is a US victory, NATO. Okay, the objectives are, okay, I'm going to shrink me down a little bit, move me out of the way, into mini-me mode. We have an objective A here. Objective C is that bridge. You need to control both X's. And objective B is this village here. So this Warsaw Pacts need 2 of the 3. Now, I've set up the NATO defense. And I've concentrated the NATO defense on, well, the Abrams here, the yellow formation, have to be within 4 hectares of C. So I'll put them in the woods, protecting. The infantry formation, this red here plus these assets, have got to be anywhere on map board 2. No, it's not quite true. Have to be west of map board 2, 6th row. So they've got to be from this line westwards. I mean, north is this side here. So anywhere from effectively this line along here, what I'll just draw now, backwards. Now I've concentrated the defense on this side of the board. Okay, ostensibly to stop any drive on C and B, which leaves A exposed. However, on turn 3, the US company, 3 infantry, 3 Bradleys, mortar, arrive anywhere on the northern edge of map board 2 or 3. So it's from here through to here. So they can move pretty much from here into there. That was before the Soviets can drive up there. However, do you remember the East Germans come anywhere from here and along, all the way up to here. So that could be seized by the East Germans, but he who defends everything defends nothing. I put too much, strength over here as well. From this, they're not defending anything. So it all depends if the East Germans attack from this direction. The Soviets definitely are, but they'll be arriving on turn 4, which is after NATO gets in here. So as I've done with all these scenarios so far, is I've set up the defense. I will be rolling to see if I will be playing the defense or if I'll be playing the attacker. Now, little 2 house rules that I brought in on the previous scenario. I have tweaked slightly. So in this one, the big modifier I made was for the morale. East German and Soviet forces will be using morale 7 on their cards rather than the 5, rather than the 6. However, if the HQ gets reduced, they go back to the default that's on the card. Also, if the formation takes 50% or more losses, it will drop to the morale that's printed on the card if either of those 2 conditions occur. The other house rule I brought in was that the electronic warfare, if there is a random event that doesn't occur for any reason, so we've rolled the random event and it's not applicable for any reason. In the previous scenario, I said, if I roll a subsequent 7, I will bring in electronic warfare and then work out who it affects and such forth. effectively it meant that electronic warfare didn't happen at all. In this one, I will have electronic warfare coming on a 7 or below on 2 dice. That way, we hopefully will get some more actual electronic warfare into the game. But as I didn't want it to be overall devastating to the scenario in other regard. Bringing up, so all the cards are in the formation deck. There's quite a lot of cards there. So NATO has 3 HE barrages available at rolling 3 dice at 4s. They have 3 delivered mines, artillery delivered mines available, and 1 smoke barrage. The East Germans and the East Germans only have got 2 HE, also 3+4, and 2 smoke. Okay, this is the turn track. There are 12 turns in the scenario. There are 3 end of turn cards in the actual formation deck. This is the reinforcement schedule. I've placed this marker on here to remind me that daylight comes into effect. So we have some more US forces on turn 3, Soviets and helicopters for NATO on turn 4, and the Warthog A-10 on turn 5. East German air support is available from turn 1. So even at night. Interesting. Okay. What are the effects of night? In night, effectively, you've got to do an extra morale check to be able to target something. The maximum spotting range is 7 hexes. You do what's called a night targeting check when you want to fire. And if the target is adjacent, that's a straight roll on their morale. If it's beyond adjacent range, you're rolling at half their morale, rounded up. So as both morales are 7, that'll be 4s. If the check is failed, the unit is still marked as ops completed. So missile ammo will not be checked. Assaults at night are subtract 1 from their assault to hit number. So the to hit is easier at night. Okay. Only on disrupted units. I think that is about it for night. Obviously, there's no weather at the present moment, but there might be. And night is added on with its effects with the normal weather sequencing. Okay, so that's the setup done. I will make an additional caveat. If I am playing the East Germans, their attack will be focusing on this side of the map. I wouldn't actually then try and cheat myself and rush up this road to seize objective A. Okay, they could be arriving anywhere from here up to about the L13. So I could come this way around if I felt it so necessary. I think this is the main primary objective for the East Germans to get through. So if I'm playing the attack will focus for the East Germans and the Soviets corresponding. Objective A will be for the Soviets, objective B, C for the East Germans, and B if we go for the decisive victory. Okay, where these guys enter if it's played by the solo assistant, well, I think they should come on the same way. Again, it doesn't specify where these guys come on the plan. So I think probably if they follow the same plan but obviously they'll be dictated to by what happens with the cards once the plan is in motion. So the East Germans arrive anywhere from here and along, and their objective is C and A for the Soviets. So with that in mind, let me roll the dice. 1, 2, 3. I play NATO. I am playing NATO, so I'm on the defense with the East Germans played by the AI. So I have the AI deck to shuffle. I will end this video here before I actually get to start to play. Like and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing so far. And any comments, if you think they should, the AI should come on a different route or plan, or a different way of me controlling the AI, let me know. Put it in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Enjoy me on the next video.